Hello, and welcome to the Real Estate Podcast. Today is January the 12th, 2018. I'm your host, Patrick Tabor, and today on the Parenting Edition, we're going to show you how to pray until something happens. As I was trying to determine what to talk about on the Parenting Edition, I did recognize that there are times when you feel like you've given all. You've put out all that you can. You've spent as much time and effort into certain projects, trying to spend time with your family, trying to get things accomplished. You've kind of expended all of your energy, and you feel like you're done. But I will say, as a parent, you have to learn to push. In other words, pray until something happens. Sometimes we stop right before our breakthrough, or we stop right before the issue is going to be resolved. And we stop too early when the prayer can continue. If we can continue praying just a little longer, we may see the results we actually expected and not a partial result. I do remember a scripture in 2 Kings chapter 13, starting at verse 14. Now Elisha had been suffering from the illness from which he died. Jehoash, king of Israel, went down to see him and wept over him. My father, he cried, the chariots and horsemen of Israel. Elisha said, get a bow and some arrows, and he did so. Take the bow in your hands, he said to the king of Israel. And when he had taken it, Elisha put his hand on the king's hands. Open the east window, he said, and he opened it. Shoot, Elisha said, and he shot. The Lord's arrow of victory, the arrow of victory over Aram, Elisha declared. You will completely destroy the Arameans at Aphek. And then he said, take the arrows, and the king took them. Elisha told him, strike the ground. He struck it 3 times and stopped. The man of God was angry with him and said, you should have struck the ground 5 or 6 times. Then you would have defeated Aram and completely destroyed it. But now you will defeat it only 3 times. Elisha died and was buried in verse 20. So here it's interesting how Elijah got frustrated because he only struck the ground 3 times. But when you're trying to accomplish something, when you're trying to complete or trying to finish something, there's going to be obstacles. There's going to be things that wear you out or wear you down to where you're to that point where you feel like you don't have any more to give. Well, you have more to give. You just have to push yourself to give it, or you have to pray until something happens. So if the king of Israel had taken time to continue to strike the ground as if he was just wanting to destroy this enemy, then he would have been able to overtake them completely, but it said he would only defeat them 3 times. It's the same way in our prayer life. If we stop or slow down or do not put enough effort into our prayer or continue with our prayer, we may be right there at the border and only defeat our problem 3 times, or maybe get a portion of that issue solved, but not the entirety of the issue. And we want to completely destroy the enemy in our life. We want to completely resolve circumstances. We want to forgive everyone, not some of the people. We want to pay off all of our debts, not some of our debts. We want to continue to build friendship, not burn bridges along the way. We want to do things right, and it's going to take prayer. And as a parent, as I've always said, our example is what we display to our kids. We can say and tell them to do all of these great things and follow all of these great rules, but it really means something to the children if they see us following those same rules. So let's let our children see us push or pray until something happens, and then that will validate the truth, which is God will hear your prayers and he will do something about them. It's not by happenstance or a coincidence. It's by the will of God. If you pray, whatever his will is, our Father in heaven will do that for us. I hope you got something out of this today. Be blessed, grace and peace.